So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Time for me to comment on your comments. And let's see. I think we start with this one here by VG. Hey, sir. Great to see you, VG. And Mohammed Omad says, hi, teacher. Hi there, Mohammed. And Gangster also says, hello. And VG says, happy last day of February. The same to you. Enjoy, VG. And then he says, incredible. Okay, I'm glad you like it. Akshat says, thank you, sir. And Chris. Hi, Chris. Okay, I'm a Briton living in Australia, a country which is very definitely socialist and becoming more so with each passing day. Against parliamentary policy, I strongly hold to a free market capitalist libertarian position. In a truly free country, every individual and every corporate body and every legislature would have the liberty to do as they choose, just so long as they do not aggress anybody. If we only lived in a free country. Yeah, I think that I'm fairly in agreement with that. I think we all ought to be able to do what we please as long as we don't hurt anybody else. I quite agree, Chris. And Maria Mikkonen. Hi there, Maria. Something that is a sudden change, an upheaval. Yeah, turmoil is good. Good. So, hi there, Slow Sunset. As the situation in Ukraine aggravates, we're becoming more and more vulnerable to a nuclear attack. Good English, good use of vulnerable. Well done, Slow Sunset. To maroon, to leave stranded, the colour of red wine, this maroon reddish brown colour. Very good, Maria. And Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Good evening. Listening and doing the housework. Nothing connected with the comment. I wonder how I was able to write that sizzler. Doesn't matter. This is a really good series. I couldn't have done it the way you do it. I couldn't have done it the way you do it. That's why I think we cannot do what you do best. And then there's nothing much I can do either. Doesn't matter again. No, I think that was beautifully done. It was beautifully written. I think it was very artistic and I really liked it. So, Patricia, hold down. Okay, yes, to hold down a job. Hi, 40 Love. And Russia has ensconced itself in part of the Ukraine, foreshadowing. To be ensconced, be settled, sitting comfortably in a safe place, be established, have everything in the place that you like. My son has been ensconced in the sofa all day playing video games. He's been ensconced in that job for over 20 years. Good examples, 40 Love. You've understood it correctly. Hi, Fran. Great to see you. I have my sights set on being a good person. I have a feeling you're already a good person, Fran. Yeah, good use of set your sights on. And to have the gumption, the guts, the dare. Gumption talks about enterprise, about being intelligent and having enough get up and go, enough drive to do something. Yeah, you also need the guts and the dare to do it. But gumption's talking about initiative. Okay, if I had known there's a small new Japanese restaurant 2 blocks away from my home, I wouldn't have had to traipse across the city just to find one with my girlfriend. Great English, good example of traipse. Well done, Everton, great to have you. Notice one thing, nothing wrong with this if I had known, but you could also say had I known. Yeah, just an inversion with had and it means exactly the same thing. Count Beauty, great to hear from you, my friend. Living under a totalitarian regime causes a disastrous amount of physical and psychological upheaval. At the rise of it, people are deprived of freedom of speech. When the regime has progressed, people are deprived of food because insatiable governors bring their country to international isolation. I really hope that's not going to happen to you, my friend. That's really good English. I love what you've written. Good work. And the entelechy behind his decision to move to a war zone was to help wounded people. The driving force. Lovely English again, Count. I love it. Okay, Mohammed Abul Naga. Meager, meagerly, slapdashly, slipshod, inefficiently, ungainly. So meager means not enough, small, a small quantity. Yeah, slapdash means not well done, the same as slipshod. Yeah, bad quality, inefficiently, ungainly, but meagerly slightly different. Yeah, he offered me very meager portions, small portions, a very meager salary, small, little, insignificant. Okay, Mohammed, subtle. Subtle is another way of playing on words when using one word to give two meanings, one of which has a far meaning from the main meaning of the word. Yeah, or maybe has a far-reaching meaning away from the main meaning of the word. Yes, to be subtle is to not say things very directly. Trajectory. Thank you, VG. VG. Getting $1 million reals would completely change the trajectory of my life. Maybe for good or maybe for bad. And wrangle is the answer. Absolutely. Well done. There was a legal wrangle. Rift. A huge argument led to a rift between the two families. Good. Flake out is the same. To me, flake out means to fall asleep. To bottle out. To bottle out is definitely the same. Yeah, to duck out, to wimp out. So, hi Manisco. The war between two countries caused a great deal of upheaval among civilians. Good English, Manisco. Well done with upheaval. And Blue Star, thanks for watching, Blue Star. Great to have you. And Ollis, I can never say the rest of your name. Hi, Ollis. The trajectory of the missile proves that the enemy were aiming for civil objects. I would probably say civil targets. This down of the trajectory shows that we will have inflation. This diagram of the trajectory shows that we will have inflation. Always choose the king's direct trajectory, though it is longer. Okay, that last one's fine. So, very good, Ollis. Great to have you. Paul Weston, good evening. Good evening, teacher. Wow. I'm certainly not expecting you to cover the whole of this match report. I recently wrote a quick skim, and whatever catches your eagle eye will definitely suffice. I've edited in a few choice words you've commented, or you've covered, these past few days. So, wow, it is quite long, isn't it? Let's see. I'm going to read it anyway. The Silence of the Lambs. Nottingham Forest make it 10 games unbeaten against their bitter rivals Derby County in the East Midlands Derby. A derby match is sometimes won in the build-up as the teams take to the pitch, and this is certainly no time for innocent lambs and young saplings to show their weakness. The strong stand tall and proud, with eyes as dark as onyx, while the bowels of the weak turn to water. Good English. When you play in an East Midlands derby, you win or die. There is no middle ground. This is no time to be weak and craven. I like the word. cowardly. The lineages and history of this great future flashed before everyone's eyes in the preceding minutes prior to the kick-off and has one's nerves all afray. That's very nice as well. Whilst the corner flag gloat and the coffee cup torture evoke a rich tapestry of memories. So whilst the corner flag gloats and the torture of the coffee cup evokes a rich tapestry of memories, it's the scars of battle like the 5-2 slaughter of the Rams in 2010, or the Bryson-inspired, Bill Bryson, who writes about football, felling of the Forest in Nottingham Forest, very nice phrase, in 2014. These are damaging and send chills up spines. Some old wounds never truly heal. They bleed again at the slightest touch, and it's just a question of which side could stem the flow on the day. Good English. Back to the present, the here and now, and which side would earn the bragging rights, I like that, at work canteens come Monday morning. It's been well over 30 years that these two rivals, we hegemons of English football, Derby County with 5 victories in the last 6 outings in the league, are scrabbling for their lives, and Mr. Rooney is doing a valiant job in mollifying the restless natives. You can't hammer tin into iron. I quite like that as well, no matter how hard you beat it. But that doesn't mean tin is useless, and he's got his team winning, and their fans are starting to dream the impossible dream. I like that repetition. Once upon a time, the dire predicament would have been akin. I think lose the like. Would have been akin to flogging a dead horse, but that horse is now very much alive and being led to calmer waters. The red side of Brian Clough's way, however, a Nottingham Forest manager of great repute from the 70s, however, will say it's whistling Dixie. Forest on fire in recent times were looking for another 3 points to knock with vigour on the playoff door and return to the promised land of the Premier League after a lengthy 20-year hiatus. I like the hiatus. The tinderbox atmosphere of Nottingham Forest City Ground was due in part to a brilliant display by the Garibaldi fan who festooned the stands with giant banners and bunting resplendent in the famous Trent End. Across the battlefield, a crocking away section played their part in creating one of the best atmosphere on Trentside in 20 years. Across the battlefield, a crocking away. Okay, this word's pretty unusual. A stone's throw away. But it works, but it's pretty unusual. In 20 years or more. Alas, all the pomp and tribal ceremony belied a taut, terse chess match. After that saw the first... so, a tight first... So, let me try that again. Belied a taut, tense chess match. Afar from that scene, okay, affair. It's affair. It's my so a taut, tense chess match affair. That's my bad. That saw the first half peter out like a damp squib. Good English. Lawrence, the usually impressive striker missed a gilt-edged chance on 16 minutes to put the visitors' noses in front at the break, but his calm in front of goal deserted him at the vital hour, much to the chagrin of Mr. Rooney and the 2,000 away following. They all winced in unison as they witnessed a half-hearted, desultory attempt that trickled harmlessly by Samba's right-hand post. Sky TV cameras panned to Warrior Worrell sitting this match out, but watching alongside the substitutes on the bench. He was biting his fingernails to the quick, but mentally kicking every ball and willing his men on. The Reds come out with more vim and vigour at the restart, and this renewed energy comes to fruition as Lewis Graban latched onto a pinball scenario in the Derby penalty area. That reads very nicely. Willie Wizard Lewis seized the opportunity and drove home with his wand of a right foot to send the home fans delirious. Goose flesh all round at the City ground. Then one of the defining moments of the game happened on the hour mark. Not a goal, but every bit as good as one. McKenna, the grizzled man-at-arms, stripling and muscled like a maiden's fancy, blocked a Ravel Morrison effort from close range and garnered pats on the back and congratulatory appreciation from his comrades in red, as they knew how important this passage of play was. 82 minutes on the clock and the Reds double their lead. The goal, a thing of beauty. Sumptuous build-up play as Johnson marauds forward and receives a return pass from the Danish Prince Zinkenmagel. This much sought after young tyro slides a shot in just inside the far post with unerring trajectory. You can make it uncountable for a 2-0 lead. Bedlam ensues pitch side as the swaggering bantam rooster of a youth kisses the sigil on the shirt with pride. Wow. Yeah, we're nearly there. The Garibaldi Reds should, for all intents and purposes, see out the game. They should see out the game comfortably. But this was not to be the case, as a moment of recklessness by Cook results in Tom Lawrence being upended on the penalty box. In the penalty box. He took his sweet time over the penalty before coolly slotting home what looked to be a glimmer of hope for the hapless away fans, but was to be no more than a mere consolation. Bruce Samba and Tom Lawrence wrestle for the ball and a melee ensues, and both get a yellow card for their ill-tempered spat. I love that word, spat. This seems to light the blue touch paper as small love between the sides sees tempers flared, and it threatens to get out of hand. As small love. I'm not very happy with this small love. Yeah, like the blue touch paper. As there is no love lost between the sides, sees tempers flared. Ravel Morrison sees red, and his reckless challenge makes him see red again, this time courtesy of the match official's scarlet card. Very nice. The red card adding fuel to the flames of an already frustrated away following. The whistle blows, the city ground erupts, and the home fans gorge on victory, much to the chagrin of their bitter rivals. The Reds reach 10 games unbeaten, a record against the Ram, and who knows what the future holds for this great rivalry. We do what we know, however. We do what we know, comma. However, is the Brian Clough trophy will sit. We do what we know. However, will the Brian Clough trophy sit proudly in the City Ground cabinet once more? Question mark. Derby travelled back down the Brian Clough way, licking their wounds. A defeat, a bitter cup to drink from, but they faced far greater battles off the pitch. The sole question that remained was how best to staunch the wound of an 83 million debt. And will the club survive? Only time will tell. But this day belonged to Forest. You Reds! This is very, very good indeed. You should be very happy with it. You're lucky I read all of it, Paul. But, yeah, you're definitely an aspiring Bill Bryson. Okay, Akshirt. In Hinduism, no article. Tuesday is considered to be an auspicious day. Yes, both. A Tuesday or Tuesday. Both Akshirt. Good English. And Patricia. Wow. I was aware of both the pronunciations, schedule and schedule. I normally do it the Brit way, but could also switch to the American way from time to time to give the thing a bit of texture or style, or retouching varnish, or the Turner thing, something like that, or chiaroscuro. It's cute to juggle with both, and it doesn't shock my ear. Zigzag, like the lie detector in Stephen Sacker's Hard Tack. Okay, I normally say schedule, but I have been known to say schedule. Okay, thank you, Patricia. Very nice indeed. Count Beauty. It's parlous to live in a decrepit building. In this case, emergency accommodation is needed. Good English, good use of parlous, Count. Manji. My domestic help had hitherto been reliable, but now started neglecting the household chores. Henceforth, I've decided to keep an eye on her. Great English. Hitherto. Had hitherto been very good indeed, and I like the henceforth that goes with it. Good work, Manji. Ollis. COVID pandemic. The COVID pandemic causes a lot of job upheaval. Good English. Climate change makes climate changes make the big upheaval in global warming. Yeah. Okay, yeah, climate change makes the big upheaval in global warming. The digital age brings tremendous upheaval in our daily life. This war brings huge upheaval to global geopolitics. Very good work, Ollis. I love it. Just a "the" at the beginning of COVID. The pandemic. Great work, Ollis. Fran. Hi, Fran. Great to see you. Upheave, the verb. To heave, to upheave. Unrest, turmoil. Yep, these are all good synonyms, Fran. Thank you. Count Beauty. He does not know what he really needs. At first he pines for a new car. Then he repines about the cost of petrol. That's good English, Count. Well done, sir. And Sajid Virk. Sir, kindly make a video on the word desideratum. I've written it down and I shall do so. Yeah? Desiderata. Okay, about among the flowers. The vertebra is the core of a skeleton. So notice, vertebra is plural. So are. Yeah, the vertebrae are the core of the skeleton. Forelearn. Could you tell me how these two differ? End and ending. For example, the end of the essay, the ending of the essay. Okay, the end of the essay, the ending of the essay. I think the end refers to the piece at the end. The ending is more like the final paragraph. But I think in many ways, Forelearn, I forgot to say hi, these are probably interchangeable. The end of the essay was very interesting. Yeah, the last bit. The ending is the way that the essay finished. The ending of a story. Yeah, the final bit that brings all of the story together and explains everything that's happened. And count. I like this great tongue twister with a few homophones. 1-1 was a racehorse, 2-2 was 1-2, 1-1-1-1 race, 2-2 1-1-2. 1-1 was a racehorse, 2-2 was 1-2, 1-1-1-1 race, 2-2 1-1-2. What I love about this is the numbers. 1-1 was a racehorse, 2-2 was 1-2, 1-1-1-1 race, 2-2 1-1-2. Okay, good work, Count. Valentine, hi Valentine. The murder of this man caused a great deal of relief. Okay, he's probably a very bad bloke. Yeah? Because relief means everybody felt better after he'd been killed. Okay, 40 love. Tacit. Implied but not directly stated. Taken for granted. Understood. Can be inferred, not spoken, not written down. He gave his tacit approval by not doing anything to stop it. Tacitly understood. His tacit apology came in the form of a bunch of flowers. That's good. Good work, 40 love. Notice this word tacit's probably a bit of a buzzword in the US at the moment because it was a recent solution to Wordle and lots of people didn't get it because they didn't know the word. Okay, awesome by VG. Thank you, my friend. And I need some more help. Where's it gone? It seems to have all disappeared. Please come back. I'll have to wait a second and be patient. Here it is. So, Nigel Bishop. I like the word trajectory, but like narrative, it's a bit pretentious. I often use path or track instead. How am I keeping? I'm absolutely fine. So, thanks for commenting. Yes, let's see. Path or track is a more informal way of saying trajectory. Yeah? Well, a lawyer might use trajectory to just charge a bit more. Will Putin's invasion of Ukraine cause an upheaval among ordinary Russians? I think it probably will, unfortunately. Good English, Nigel. 40 love. Taciturn describes a person who's not talkative, quiet. Laconic describes a person who uses very few words when they speak. Good work, 40 love. Mohammed, God endowed us with, gifted us with such a one-of-a-kind teacher called Sir Alex. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Good use of endow. Nigel Bishop, great to see you again. I'm old-fashioned, Alex, so if you send me a long essay or report, I'll scan the whole thing once or twice. Then I'll peruse the most relevant parts. I think that's a very good way of doing it. Yeah? Scan it to see what's in it, and then read the bits that are really important. And so, Decadent, hello from Akshirt. Hi, VG. Hello, Victor. Have a successful March. And VG says thank you. You too. Have a marvellous month. The same to both of you. Thanks, sir. My pleasure, VG. Denros 9. The first one is a physical verb where after must go right after the verb if the meaning of the verb is to care about her. Otherwise, after is an adverb and the sentence is incomplete. Very good, Denros. I love it. You even given an explanation to it. Okay, VG, what do you think of her decadent lifestyle? It's not good for her. And Dustin, A, thank you, Dustin. And VG, their society has become more decadent and intolerable. That's why it's collapsing. And Akshat says a fine example but a sad truth. I agree with Akshat. Definitely. VG, thank you. And Akshat, unfortunately. Yes, unfortunately it's a sad truth. So, let's continue. Ice cream and chocolates at breakfast. How decadent, she said. Definite. Ice cream, chocolates and champagne for breakfast. That's a good example, VG. Safal Pokharel. Hello, sir. Can you make a video about intrinsic and extrinsic? Intrinsic and extrinsic. I have a feeling I've got one certainly about intrinsic. If I do, I'll send you a link. Okay, VG, enjoy your last day and evening in February, because March is tomorrow. Akshat, he says that a show like this instills decadence into young children. Good English, Akshat. Akshat, my eyes have been paining too much. My eyes had been paining me too much. This needs to be transitive. My eyes have been paining me too much. I might use hurting recently, and I decided to go and see an eye doctor. It turned out that the power of my left eye had increased. The power, so it got stronger. The doctor told me off because of my laxity towards my eyes when I told him I had not got my eyes checked for over 2 years. I had already ordered my new frames, as I'd been wearing the old ones for a long time. As soon as they were delivered, I went to a nearby eye clinic to get the lenses attached to the frames. But when I got home, I realized that the left lens was not fitted properly, and part of it was pointing out. Which could hurt me, was sticking out. What's worse is that it came off as I tried cleaning it. God, that's so frustrating, Akshat. Yeah, good English, by the way. It's really good English. Yeah, that's a frustrating story. Mohammed Omar, popular culture is decadent and degenerate, and we're doomed to as a civilization to a relentless decline into inauthentic, commercialized pap. That's a great sentence, Mohammed Omar. Well done. And what's the difference between compulsory and obligatory? So what does Gaurav say? There's a subtle difference between compulsory and obligatory. Compulsory, to compel. It's practically like saying you're being enforced to follow the rules. Obligatory, to oblige. It's like saying you're morally bound to something. Like elders are obliged to take care of their children. I paid the obligatory visit to my crazy aunt. When somebody comes over to your house, it's obligatory to ask them if they want anything to drink. Good, I like your explanation. You can use these two words interchangeably, and I don't think even natives would mind themselves using it either, unless they're censorious. And Slow Sunset says, thank you, friend. This is actually a very good explanation. If something's compulsory, it's talking about an external force. Whereas if something's obligatory, it's because you feel a moral duty. So, Slow Sunset, what is the difference between I must go and I have to go? Because we have the same difference here. Yeah, I must is because I want to do it. Yeah, I feel an obligation from inside. Whereas I have to do it is something external that's forcing me to do it. And that's the same idea, compulsory and obligatory. Okay, well done, Gaurav. I loved your explanation. That was very good work. And let's just refresh and see what else we've got here. And okay, so we've definitely got some more. Quite a lot more. Wow, where did I get to? Good grief. There's a whole pile here. Okay, so Ankur, love from India, sir. Thank you so much for your effort to teach us. It's my pleasure. Akshat, in this game there are going to be 2 teams of 5 players each. Every player is going to have a tissue box full of balls stuck to their back, attached with a rope around their waist. A player from each team is going to be competing against each other at a player from each team is going to be competing against each other at a time. All that are going to have to do. So I think a player from each team is going to be competing against a player from another team at a time. All they're going to have to do is jump around or move around until all the balls fall out through the holes made in the tissue box. Whoever manages to do this job quicker than their competitor is going to get 1 point, and the team of the losing player will have 1 point deducted from the overall score that team is going to have secured. From the overall score of that team. Lose the rest of it. At the end, whichever team has a higher score is going to get an amount of $600, of which the individual player who has scored the highest points for the team will get the most. At the end, whichever team has a higher score is going to get $600. And $600, and the individual player who has scored the highest number of points for the team will get the most. That's pretty good, Akshat. And Louise Lopez. Hi, Louise. Hi, sir. Could you elucidate the difference between validate and verify? So to validate is to make sure that something is valid. Yeah? To verify is to make sure that something is true. Okay, so for example, I need to do research to validate the assumptions that I've made. Here we could use verify as well. To verify means to substantiate. To validate means to make valid. For example, I'm thinking you can park in this place, but you have to go to the supermarket and buy something where they will validate your parking ticket. So to verify is to check that something is true. To validate is to make something true, make something that works, make something that is okay for use. So thank you, Louise. Manji, if I'm not wrong, in the Old Testament, 2 cities named Sodom and Gomorrah plunged into decadence as a result of excessive indulgence in luxury and corruption. Yeah. The Tower of Babel. And I reckon it won't be irrelevant to mention John Webster's The Duchess of Malfi and my favourite of Oscar Wilde, The Portrait of Dorian Gray, as 2 of the most remarkable decadent products. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Yes, Oscar Wilde, he's a genius, but he was decadent as well, very definitely. Yeah, no, they had it in for him. So, Saeed Abedi, great thanks. Tolerate, endure, my pleasure. Count, great to see you. Let's do a hatchet job on the great honcho for underpaying us last month. I love it. That's really good English, Count. And Mannequin, Getting an advanced degree can change the trajectory of your life. Good. His career was on a downward trajectory because he did not have a good team around him. On a downward trajectory. Reading every day is going to put your reading level on an upward trajectory. Here you put the on. By taking this internship. By taking this internship, you will change the trajectory of your life. Without the by, taking this internship will change the trajectory of your life. Okay, so without the by, taking this internship becomes a subject. By taking this, we still need a subject, and it needs to be you. And mannequin. I grew up in a decadent household. The world is decadence. The decadence is absurd. Religion condemns decadence. Good work, mannequin. No 2 or nono 2. Swanning off. The same as swanning about. Very definitely. Well, to swan off is to go off. To swan about is to stay in a place. So he was swanning around doing nothing. He swanned off, he left, he went away. So no, they're not the same, no. Yeah, to swan off, to walk off casually. Yeah, being irresponsible. To swan about, to go around doing nothing. So no, they're not the same. Action. From being accused of making off with products from the shop, he worked at bullying his younger siblings. So, to being up to a murder, but he has had a decadent life. Okay, from being accused of making off with products from the shop, he worked up to bullying his younger siblings, and finally up to being a murderer. He has had a decadent life. So I think to work oneself up to a level, he worked up to, from the next level to the next level. Yeah, he worked up to bullying his younger sister. And then again, he worked up to being a murderer, ER at the end, actually. Okay, count. Decadence is a sign of a corrupted society. Good English. And actually, the cost of these products have been on an upheaval trajectory lately. The trajectory of the costs of these products has been upheaved. There has been an upheaval in the trajectory of these products. Yeah, there has lately been an upheaval in the trajectory of these products. I think that's the way I'm going to make it work. Patricia, conversation between girl and boyfriend. The difference between some and any. We have little money, so we have to shelve that project of buying a house. I would probably say shelve that project to buy a house. We can put some money aside and still go somewhere for a short holiday. Yeah, and you'll go on a spending spree and we won't have any left. Okay, that's fine. Good work, Patricia. Difference between some and any. This one's good. And Sheed, I still like your new icon. Aging is a process which decades, as opposed to decades, which decades the body. I would have to look this one up. It probably exists as a verb, but it's quite unusual. Aging is a process which decades the body and brain. Against this decadence, the most useful medicine is to exercise both. Okay, I quite like that. Decays. I think decays. I would prefer the word decays. D-E-C-A-Y-S. Aging is a process which decays the body and brain. I don't know, to decay, decadent. It's possible. Okay, Patricia. This one I typed this morning, vanished too. Also the one for entelechy. Do you know how this happens? I really don't. It's YouTube having a brainstorm. Yeah, they really ought to be kicked up the backside for this. Yeah, because it's just so annoying. Okay, Paul Watson, evening teacher. I'm led to believe there are two meanings of the word sanguine. One meaning a cheery disposition, and the other related to blood. The adjective sanguinary is also associated to the latter. Am I correct? Sanguinary. Okay, firstly, sanguine is a colour meaning blood colour, which is sanguine gouache. Okay, he's quite sanguine in difficult circumstances, quite cheery. Yeah, and sanguine, blood. Yes, related to blood. That also works, Paul. I would nearly always use it for this cheery disposition. Yeah. Let's see. His sanguinary imagination only thinks of horrors. Okay, Patricia, I'm so glad you liked that comment about the couple, because I was afraid you would find it a bit bland. It wasn't bland at all. I'm not joking, I really thought so. I'm glad you thought it was evocative and you found it hot, because I take it as a compliment coming as it does from you. Thanks again. It was a great piece of writing. I really loved it. It had what I call oomph. This je ne sais quoi, but I always call it oomph. So, Emily, thanks YouTube. I found what I've been looking for so long. Glad I could help. And Paul Weston. Just come across a nice word whilst watching a crime documentary. Omerata. This is a really good word. Let me write it down. Omerata's like a code of silence, particularly for the mafia. I'm going to do a video on that one. I find language learning quite amazing. That after finding and understanding new words, they'll suddenly appear everywhere and you'll be conscious of them. Something called blue car syndrome. Yeah, if you think about blue cars, then you suddenly see them everywhere. Or the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. I don't know about the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. I'll look that up. Baader-Meinhof were a terrorist group in the 70s. Yeah, definitely in the 70s. Everton, great to have you. My neighbour is really friendly with me, but at the same time he's stuck up and he's full of himself. That's weird sometimes. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's very good English. I like your use of stuck up. Everton. French people don't want to learn English because they're snooty. I've heard this sentence somewhere else. I can't remember exactly. Okay, I quite like this phrase. It's a good use of snooty. Let's see. I worked for many years in Paris, and I've got lots and lots of friends in Paris, but they're all people who've emigrated to Paris from other countries. I'm thinking of Siti the Egyptian, or Alex the Turk, or Hugo the Yugoslav. I know lots and lots of people, but they're almost all of them immigrants. What is the meaning of wrangle, please? Elaborate it. If you look, Mukul, if you look at the question, there's a link to my video of wrangle. To wrangle is to argue about something. Yeah, but follow the link to wrangle, Mukul. Okay, and Patricia. A is for anthrax, artistic, Auburn, amoeba, anxiety, album, ambrosia, axe, authenticity, auspicious, albeit Aristotle, actually, atrium, android, ace, ape, apex, atavistic, ancestral, autocrat, active, adobe, autistic, assumption, atheist, agnostic, acquaintance, accuse, asteroid, aspect, agility, agrumes, afar, argument, alabaster, attribute, alliteration, among, applause, appreciated, alcohol, asterisk, alone, alligator, alhambra, alembic, altruistic, albatross, asbestos, ambivalent, androgyny, for antediluvian, for amorphous, for astral, austerity, antagonize, absolute, absolution, acrid, ascribe, archive, abdomen, oracle, agriculture, agility, abduction, Assyrian, armor, armorial, asphalt, without the E, atonement, abstemious, abstraction, absconds, I think absconds, anaconda, arbalist, angle, abrogation, abode, abortion, adorable, astrology, aspersion, ascetic, aesthetics, archex, angelic, Alexander, Alexandrian, auspices, and armistice. Good work, Patricia. Oh my God, I've done it again. Sorry. No, this is fine. I quite enjoy reading them. And let me refresh again. Wow, this has turned out quite a long video, but I read that long bit earlier. Let's see what else is here. Okay, and azure. Oh yes, oh yes. Another synonym for this word is dissolute. Indeed it is. That's a very good word. And let me just refresh it to see if we get another. In the meantime, if you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. And that's all, folks. Bye for now.